And, you know, a lot of people were talking about XRP targets, about we're now clear from run fraud bouncing to not be trusted. You know, we talked about XRP going down. And this is the range that I have said some time ago, between $3 and 2.72 cents. And this is the range that has to hold. If it drops below 2.69 or 2.5, that's when, well, mud hits the fan, right? That's how I can say it, because that's going to be a real problem. It's going to give a lot of whales panic. They're going to be like, well, I wanted to sell it at $4. I bought like, you know, multiple millions of XRP. So maybe I should start selling it at a slight loss and try to make that money back. There's going to be a lot of whales like that. So just keep that in mind.
Bucks, and then the market makers are just playing with us at this point.
Yeah,
that's
they're
all
making
this is.
money.
This is just manipulation to wipe out and liquidate people in the meantime, take your money. And this is why I hold 90% of my XRP is in my spot bags, cold wallets, Caleb and Brown institutional grade custody. It is not moving. There is no leverage on it. And so the market makers can try to hunt me down with my little trading bag. They still haven't been able to catch me on that. And we've been successful in our trades. But this is just short-term noise that shakes out a lot of people, right?
Now imagine, can XRP survive if it's $1 again? I definitely think so, because now it has lawsuit over. And the crypto markets will take a huge dip. But then once it recovers, it's going to be much better from there. So if it recovers, it needs to survive also 4 years. So keep that in mind for XRP.
Who refuse to acknowledge the data points that are in front of us. And I'm going to explain that here in this update. Now, Brad Garlinghouse retweeting XRP Seoul, Korea, absolutely showing up.
Yeah, that's the big part. XRP doesn't only, it's worldwide. That's where it wins in the long term.
He says, one thing you know about the XRP community is that anywhere in the world, they show up in force. Huge congrats to XRP Seoul team on their first event, and we at Ripple are absolutely looking forward to the next. Nothing beats the in-person meetups. Looking forward to Ripple's Swell Conference November 4th and 5th. Going to be a big one.
The conference,
Brad is right.
I mean, the conference is not what's really going to change the price, though. It is the big factors, the other factors at play.
See this community around the world, and especially in Korea.
I mean, community is a huge part of XRP, though. It's not going to affect the price as much, but it's going to build that momentum for XRP community.
They love XRP over there. Now, this is what I'm talking about in regards to some of the biggest traders and people that you know signing off, capitulating, selling off portions of their portfolio. Peter Brandt put out this tweet. Signing off of X, best to you all. I will return, but do not know when. Stay safe. Take small losses. Let winners ride. Love your spouse, kids, friends, and Christ. Trade to live. Don't live to trade. And I think that that's pretty fair advice. For some people, they can't make.
I mean, I'm not too sure if he sold everything at a loss. That's probably like the mental toll of going down like 6 digits has been too much for him. And, you know, he just quits. So that's the thing. A lot of these, you know, things are take small. That's a very good point, though.
Selling off portions of their portfolio. Peter Brandt put out this tweet. Signing off of X, best to you all. I will return, but do not know when. Stay safe. Take small losses. Let winners ride. Love your spouse, kids, friends, and Christ. Trade to live, don't live to trade. And I think that that's pretty fair advice. For some people, they can't make it, right?
Maybe he got liquidated. Maybe he lost everything. It's a very scary thing.
This is heavy stuff. We're talking about money here.
He's always saying about patience.
This, you know, especially in the stocks. Like if I was in traditional finance too, I would be probably taking my money and running as well, right? As stocks are hitting the highest valuations ever. New all-time high.
That's the thing with stocks against XRP. Yes, XRP gets like a one push, but stocks, you know, over time, stocks never went down on the past like 25 years. I never saw stocks go down.
Are being printed, but the cracks widening is an understatement, you know, in the economy, in that labor market with inflation still running hot. The problem is you have to get that flight to safety. You got to go somewhere. And so having some liquidity is great. And when I see Blockchain Backer putting out this post here yesterday saying that he is actively selling a third of his entire crypto holdings until the market proves that it can escape, That tells me,
I mean, this is what we have seen 2021, just people quitting. I mean, I don't understand that. You're selling at a loss, or maybe they're taking profit. That's completely fine. But if you are taking a loss, that's bad, right? It's the all-time high where markets turn euphoric and exciting and horrifying. There are several bull cases, several bear cases, but the market needs to prove itself from there. I mean, yeah, it is scary and it is stressful for sure. But if you're selling, nobody knows what's going to happen to the market. Is this it, or is it going to be another push? That's the issue. Stock markets are so much less stressful.
Holdings until the market proves that it can escape. That tells me that he has a portfolio that's diversified amongst some projects that don't have real motion, don't have real momentum. They don't have ETFs going live. They don't have digital asset treasury companies stacking it on their balance sheet, and they're not getting institutional adoption. Those are projects that I'm looking to offload as well too. Now, I'm not selling right now or today, but I've lowered my targets on some of those projects in my portfolio. And I never did diversify my portfolio into 50 different crap coins, right? I am not spread out that thin. But if somebody is, and in this case, I'm suspecting and just speculating, maybe I'm wrong, but I think that BC Backer, he has a diversified bag.
I mean, yeah, he would be down because the crypto markets have only responded to XRP, BNB, Bitcoin. Other coins have not performed well. The market has turned out way different than people anticipated. It's just some coins that really blew up, like maybe 3 of them, maybe 10 of them. Others still at the same price or even less than all-time high. Look at meme coins. It's very, very worrying, and we're ending 2025 now. So it's something that scares me because I don't know how long this will actually last, this type of bull run.
Of a lot of other plays that just aren't catching motion and momentum right now. And so I cut ties with some of those throughout this year and throughout last year. And
remember, boys, a lot of people will not survive 2026, 2027 in crypto YouTube. Like half of the YouTubers you see, half of the content creators, how the people in the crypto space, they're going to sell their bags. You can already see I'm super tired, but I keep continuing every single day because I see here what is at hand. We're seeing here now that the money is changing hands.
Like I said, 90% of my crypto portfolio is spot XRP. So if I was going to look to sell some XRP, maybe I would be selling off a chunk of my portfolio right now. But and I want to be careful how I worded that. I only have XRP to sell off in any substantial amount is what I was trying to say. I'm not looking to sell any of my XRP right now. I'm just saying I don't have a bunch of crap that I need to offload right now. I have a bunch of small.
You got to have a plan. That's the thing. You got to have a plan of what you have and not get stressed about it.
Or positions. I think the total maybe is like 15 or 20. But positions with size, XRP is 90% of my portfolio. And then I have about the remaining 10% of that is broken up between many positions that don't even make up 1% of my portfolio. So I'm heavy XRP. But to me, what I just gathered from this and what Blockchain Backer just put out is he had a lot of other projects, considerable positions. And at this point, yeah, I see taking some chips off the table and getting some liquidity. I've been urging caution, staying liquid, keeping some margin around. And at this point, I've sized down my leverage trade, right? I took profit on my XRP long last Friday before we had the largest liquidation event of 2025. And now I'm back in an XRP long, but it's much smaller, right? So I've downsized my XRP long position because, look at the charts right now. The market makers are just sniping us one after another, right? So anyways, to each their own. That's what I gathered from BC Backer, from Peter Brandt.
I feel like a lot of people are also holding different stuff, which is good to be diversified. But in crypto, if you're diversified in crypto, the issue is you have a much higher chance to actually lose that money because a lot of these projects will be gone, right? And that's why a lot of people hold only 100%. In stock market, there's a lot of companies that are going to be around because they have some sort of backing, while crypto, it does not have the same play. Look at how many are around since 2020. Look how many companies are around since 2020. Many, many more. Even if they're maybe lower than before, these companies, protected themselves and still stay alive.
The negative sentiment that I see out there on X, in the comments, this is typically right when we get massive reversals out to the upside. And we've seen this volatility at this stage, this late in a bull run, every single time. And it's right before you go break out to new all-time highs for the alts. Now, once again, I believe that 90% of the space is a joke and doesn't have real value. So if you're invested in those crap coins, yeah, I'd probably be looking to cut ties or at least lower my targets at this point. This bull run is so diluted by 50 million different meme coins and different things, and now you can...
I would say the real bull run was back in 2021 with all the meme coins, and now it's more about still utility. But we're still waiting from the US government to, announce all the projects, and maybe that's behind works. Maybe November is going to be much, much better. That's where I'm really hopeful.
Bet on all sorts of different stuff, poly market, all these different things to be a degenerate gambler. And it's keeping people out of the solid utility projects, keeping, they're not...
That's the same scenario that happened in 2021, though.
Keeping their eyes on the prize, and they've diversified into 50 different crap coins, hoping and praying that they go up. That's not a real strategy. And especially at this stage in the bull run, it is time to consolidate into good utility, into assets that are getting ETFs, are getting digital asset treasuries, digital asset treasury companies, and getting institutional adoption. Speaking of ETFs, another ETF just got approved. That would be the HashDex NASDAQ Crypto Index.
A lot of ETFs approved, but the main ETFs will be in October anyway. I don't really look at these ETFs because I don't know if they're true ones. I'm looking at the big ones with 99% volume.
And the fund is now cleared to hold crypto assets beyond Bitcoin and Ethereum, including XRP, Solana, Cardano, Link, and XLM. That's what I'm talking about. Those are the projects that you want to get into.
Yeah.
And I noticed that even BC Backer in his post, he put out a list of projects that he's looking at: XRP, SWI, ETH, Link, ADA, and Sol, which are all projects that are slated to get ETFs for Solana, Cardano, Chainlink being included in this one too. I think that we're still away from an XLM spot, a Cardano spot.
I mean, a lot of these ETFs will be coming out. I don't know if just for XRP. I feel like XRP is just the stepping stone for a lot of these projects.
But the Solana and the XRP spot ETFs are set to go live next month. Now, this brings me to my data point that I'm going to share with you guys and why I'm not moving any of my XRP right now. I'm just still holding all of it and still remaining with my higher targets for XRP. And I'm talking about $20 to $30 X.
Now, $20 to $30, this is what I was waiting for. I don't feel like this is going to happen this cycle. If you're hopeful for that, you need to be hopeful for like 300,000 Bitcoin. But $5, $4, I would definitely be very excited for that as well. It would be part of it that would keep a lot of people happy.
XRP base case, worst case scenario, base case for 2026 is a $20 to $30 X.
Make your bets, see where it can go. We don't have a crystal ball. I fully agree, man.
XRP, and that's just backed off data. This is the data that I'm talking about. The CME just says that they've hit our 4-month milestone for XRP futures. The reason for the momentum: demand for trusted, regulated crypto products. XRP and micro XRP futures 4-month recap: 397,000 contracts.
Trading will always be profitable though, like for XRP. Even if there's maybe, as long as there's users, there's already going to be someone trading XRP.
Traded 18 billion of notional volume, and it's the equivalent of 6 billion XRP being traded. That is equivalent to 6% of the XRP total supply being traded. What this tells me is that when the spot markets go live, we are easily looking at 5 to 10 billion of inflows and trading.
I hope we get 5 to 10. I'm actually expecting more like 2 billion because, Bitcoin had that much. Didn't Bitcoin have 5 to 10 billion? So it's going to be harder for XRP to get that.
In the ETFs. Now, you'll have inflows, you will have outflows. Depending on how aggressive the inflows come in, that's going to determine our market cap multiplier and how quickly we could see my targets of 20 to 30 bucks. But I have already gone through the math. I'm not going to break it down in this episode, but the math is very simple. And what it's told me is that if we do get 5 to 10 billion of inflows, your base case is a $20 to $30 XRP. And in the 4-month milestone check from the CME group, we're already trading 6 billion XRP equivalent, which is equivalent right now to 18 billion of notional volume. That tells me that when the ETFs go live, you're going to see 6 billion XRP equivalent, 18 billion notional volume.
I think that's overestimated because we are reaching, in my opinion, end of the market cycle.
You're going to see 10 billion plus of inflows into the XRP ETFs year one. These ETFs have already started to go live. The Rex Osprey, now this NASDAQ hash index, what is it called? Hashdex NASDAQ crypto index. That includes a 6.93% allocation to XRP. The spot ETFs, we have, I think, 7 that are slated to go live in October. And we're just, the data's right there, guys. I don't know what to tell you. Don't get liquidated short-term trading if you don't know what you're doing.
That's the issue. It can turn over at any point.
Just buy your XRP, hold it, and watch the inflows come in. Watch Wall Street sell it. Watch BlackRock and all these other institutions show up at Ripple Swell Conference and lift the veil on all of the partnerships that they've established over the past decade that Ripple's been in business.
They got a lot of NDAs for sure.
And let the money flow into us. Let the money come on in. It's going to come. The data's right there.
All right, we got one more.